Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this meeting of the Lewis and Clark County Commissioners. We'll start this off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, once again, we meet here in the halls of taxes, I guess as we could call it. I will introduce people. Let's see. County Commissioner Andy Hunthausen is to my immediate right. And Nico Hash from the County Attorney's Office will be here making sure we do everything according to Hoyle. And Mr. Roger Balz is our Chief Administrative Officer, and he helps keep us in line too. We are missing Commissioner Tom Rolfe. He is out of the office today. But to our left, thank God, Brandi is here. She is going to keep the minutes and make sure we don't forget to do things. So, morning, Brandi. We have a sign-in sheet right at the front of the room there, right beyond that little balcony thing. So please sign it. Let us know you're proud to be here. And we will start off this party with the consent action items to be presented by Mr. Roger Balz. Go for it.
Thank you, Chair Payne and Commissioner Hunthausen. You have 3 items this morning on the consent agenda. First is item 2A, vendor claims report for the week ending May 9, 2025. Staff recommends approval. And Marni Bentley is here as usual for that item. Commissioners, the next item is item 2B, Resolution 2025-31, ordering a refund of taxes, fees, assessments paid by Haley M. and Caleb M. Feuerstein, and I apologize if I mispronounced that, in the amount of $183.44. Staff recommends approval of that item as well. And the last item is item 2C. It is public meeting minutes for April 17, 2024. April 17 and April 24, 2025. And staff recommends approval of that item as well. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Roger. Is there any comment from the Commission?
No, Commissioner.
Is there any public comment on any of these consent action items? If not, let's have a motion.
Chair Payne, I'd move that we approve consent action items 2A, B, and C as presented.
I second that. It's been moved and seconded that we approve the consent action items 2A, B, and C as presented by Roger Balz. Is any further comment?
Nope.
Okay, then we should have a vote. All in favor of approving consent action items 2A, 2B, and 2C signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. The next item on our agenda is action item Resolution 2025-32, ordering the cancellation of delinquent property taxes on mobile home or house trailer, to be presented by Karie Frydenlund.
Good morning, Chair Payne and Commissioner Hunthausen. My name is Karie Frydenlund. For the record, I'm the Lewis and Clark County Property Tax Supervisor. Before you this morning is a resolution ordering the cancellation of delinquent property taxes on a mobile home that was owned by George Haddix. Mr. Haddix passed away and there is no family to pay the delinquent taxes. The mobile home is currently located in the Evergreen Trailer Park. The landlord of the property is requesting a tax waiver of the delinquent mobile home taxes so the mobile home can be disposed of. Staff recommends waiving the delinquent taxes dating to 2019 to current of $1,405.59.
There any questions from the commission?
Chair Payne, if I could,
Certainly.
Ms. Friedland, just, you mentioned this in your comments, but just to reiterate for the record that Mr. Haddock's passed away and there is no family, no next of kin to receive the property or be responsible for the property or pay the taxes. That's why we're considering this, that this is something that,
Mobile home is unhabitable. The deceased person died in the manufactured home and was not found for some time after. The mobile home park cannot find any relatives.
thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
How often do you run into this sort of thing? This is not,
Not too often.
I don't believe I've seen it before, but I can certainly understand the issue, particularly for those living next to it.
The MCA code states that if a mobile home park owner has a manufactured home that's been abandoned, they could go through the abandonment process and take ownership of it, but they have to pay the taxes current and do the paperwork. But this one is a unique situation where the mobile home is a total loss and it needs to be disposed of in the dump. So that's what
landfill.
the mobile homes owner's intention is. They're still going to have to buy a moving deck and dispose of it. But after that is completed, then they'll bring the dump slip in and then we'll remove it from the tax roll.
Okay, it sounds like you've got it under control. Any other questions, Andy?
No, Chair Payne.
Okay, then we have an opportunity for public comment. Seeing no public comment, let's have a motion.
Chair Payne, I'd move that we approve Resolution 2025-32, ordering the cancellation of delinquent property taxes on mobile home or house trailer as described by Karie Friedland.
Second. It's been moved and seconded that we approve this resolution. Is there any further comment from the commission? Okay, then. All in favor of this resolution 2025-32, ordering the cancellation of delinquent property taxes on mobile home as presented by Ms. Frydenlund, indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Seeing none, this motion is passed unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have Mr. Connor Fitzpatrick.
Morning, Chair Payne, Commissioner Hunthausen, Connor Fitzpatrick, Lewis and Clark County Elections Division Supervisor. I bring before you today for this first item, a elected by acclamation item for the fire districts. So last Tuesday was the election day for school and special district elections. For most of our fire districts, the election was canceled because one candidate per seat that was up for election or less filed. So for the following fire districts, Augusta Fire Service Area, Augusta Volunteer Fire District, Birdseye Volunteer Fire District, Eastgate Volunteer Fire District, East Helena Valley Volunteer Fire District, Lincoln Fire District, West Valley Fire Rescue District, the Wolf Creek Craig Fire Service Area, and the York Fire Service Area. We had folks file for a seat, and those seats were not competitive. So we're going through the process here to declare these folks elected by acclamation. We'll have appointments later, and I'll go into the reason why it's an appointment versus elected by acclamation. But for the moment, these are folks who were the only ones who filed for the seat that was available. So I'll go down the list here. We have verified that all these folks meet the requirements to serve on the districts and are
Excuse me.
eligible for approval. Yes.
Connor, what are the requirements to serve as?
Oh,
the-
yes,
the
that's a great question, Commissioner. So the requirement is to be registered to vote in the district, a resident of the district, or a property owner within the district. Fortunately, all these folks fall into the first half where they are residents and registered to vote. So,
Thank you.
yep. All righty. So our list here for appointments, elected by acclamations to the fire districts include Quentin Mergenthaler for the Eastgate Volunteer Fire District, Anna Baker for the West Valley Fire Rescue District, Anthony Imacio for the Augusta Volunteer Fire District, Bo Delwo for the Augusta Volunteer Fire District, John Pavsek for the Birdseye Rural Fire District, Brad O'Shea for the Birdseye Rural Fire District, Vincent Williams for the East Helena Valley Volunteer Fire District, Wayne Noam for the East Helena Valley Volunteer Fire District, Amy Thorngren for the East Gate Volunteer Fire District, Ralph White for the East Gate Volunteer Fire District, William Sear for the Lincoln Fire District, David Clegg for the West Valley Fire Rescue District, Jim Dusenberry for the West Valley Fire Rescue District, Russell Bean for the Augusta Fire Service Area, Arthur Thompson for the Wolf Creek Craig Fire Service Area, and Jason Crocker as a trustee as well for the Wolf Creek Craig Fire Service Area. Long list of folks. A lot of those folks are coming back. There are a few new names in there, though. So good to see the communities responding and getting people on these boards. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Connor. You have any questions, Andy?
Chair Payne, I do not have any questions. Pretty straightforward.
It is. Okay. Is there any public comments on this matter? Seeing none. Let's have a motion.
Chair Payne, I would move that we approve the declaration of the fire district candidates elected by acclamation as presented by Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Second. Is there any further discussion on this matter?
Chair
Andy?
Payne, I just wanted to thank Mr. Fitzpatrick. This is, there's a lot of moving parts. Elections are complicated, and all of these little nuances where districts, small districts like this only have one candidate or less that file for these positions sometimes, and we're going to get into this next, but the appointment process where no one filed, and so then we have to move to an appointment situation. So just tracking all of that and making sure that we're doing it properly within the scope of the law, and I just thank you for your work and diligence. Chair Payne, thanks.
I would echo that, and I appreciate the clear way that you presented the documents here. So I had time to review them yesterday and see what's going on, recognize many of these names because they have volunteered in the past. Okay, with that, I think we can vote on this. It has been moved and seconded that we declare fire district candidates elected by acclamation as presented by Mr. Connor Fitzpatrick. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion passes unanimously. Moving right along. Action item 3C, board appointment, fire district, Connor Fitzpatrick. Go for it, Connor.
Connor Fitzpatrick, Lewis and Clark County Elections Division Supervisor. Madam Chair, Commissioner Hunthausen, I bring before you the other half of our every spring special district routine. The elected even I still get the wording a little mixed up, the appointed portion. So we just did elected by acclamation. These are folks, those were folks who filed during the candidate filing period that runs roughly from December to February. For special districts, these are the folks who filed for seats that were left vacant after those that candidate filing period ended. So it's different from a vacancy where you have someone resign or pass away while they hold the seat. This is considered more of an open seat in our terminology in the elections office, because statute provides for the commissioners to declare these folks appointed rather than having to go through the vacancy process, which differs from one district to another. Fire districts are done one way, water sewer districts are another, all sorts of fun in Title VII with some of these special district statutes. So I bring before you today two folks total, two separate fire districts who have gotten paperwork to us after candidate filing closed. One person for the Baxendale Volunteer Fire District and one person for the Marysville Rural Fire District. I've got Michaeline Brown meeting the same qualifications that we talked about before for the elected by acclamation for the Baxendale Volunteer Fire District, and Gary Baker meeting the, again, same qualifications for the Marysville Rural Fire District. Happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, we recommend that these folks be appointed to a 3-year term each to fill the seat that they are looking to sign up for. Thank you.
Thank you, Connor. Is there any questions from the commission? Comments?
I do not.
Okay. Then is there any public comment? Seeing no one out there, let's have a motion.
Chair Payne, I would move that we appoint these candidates to their respective fire districts as presented by Mr. Fitzpatrick.
A second. Is there any further comment on this matter? It's much easier when we only have one other person here, one other commissioner. Okay, it has been moved and seconded that we approve the board appointments for the fire districts as explained by Connor Fitzpatrick. These fire districts, the seats are open due to no candidates filing during the candidate filing period. So all in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion approved unanimously. Thank you. Next, board appointments, hospital district.
Connor Fitzpatrick, Lewis and Clark County Elections Division Supervisor. Madam Chair, Commissioner Hunthausen, the third and final one for this year. All of our water sewer districts are on even numbered years, so we don't have to worry about those folks today. Hospital district, though, we only have one in our county. It's in the Lincoln area. There were 2 seats up for election this year, and the 2 folks who have filed are the folks who held the seat before the election. So they're still interested in continuing to serve. However, we're just a little bit late on their paperwork. So they got in right after the candidate filing period closed. So hence the appointment process versus the elected by acclamation process. So George Brent Anderson and Kristen Burkholz both meet it's actually the same requirements for hospital district as it is for the fire district, resident and registered to vote. So they are able to serve on the Lincoln Hospital District Board, would like to continue serving on the board. And because of all of that, the Elections Office recommends approval for these 2 folks as well for the Lincoln Hospital District.
Thank you, Connor. Is there any question from the commission?
I do not.
Andy? Okay. It's always nice to see people with experience getting on these boards. Obviously, these 2 characters, we've met with them many times and they are very experienced at the Lincoln Hospital Board. Okay, is there any public comment? Seeing none. Can I have a motion, please?
Chair Payne, I would move that we appoint the candidates to the Lincoln Hospital District as described by Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Second. It has been moved and seconded that we approve the appointment to the Lincoln Hospital District as described by Connor Fitzpatrick. Is there any further comment, Andy?
Just thank you again. Appreciate it.
Okay. In that case, all in favor of approving the board appointments for the Lincoln Hospital District indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say same sign. It has been unanimously approved that we appoint these folks. So thank you. Did I get that done right? Okay.
Yes, you did.
We have to indicate Andy has been here a lot longer than I have. And sometimes I forget to do things, so he reminds me. It's a good working relationship. Roger Balls. Agenda item 3E, board appointment for the Lincoln Cemetery District. Mr. Balls?
Thank you, Chair Payne and Commissioner Hunthausen. As you just stated, this is item 3E on the agenda, and it is for the Lincoln Cemetery District. You have the backup memo, as our usual process, Commissioners. There are currently 3 members on the board with 2 vacancies. Tony Eckert and Sandra Winters would like to be considered for a partial term each on the board that will expire January 1, 2027. Action staff recommends that Commissioners consider the applicants to a partial term that will expire January 1, 2027. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Roger.
Chair
You have
Payne,
any question,
Chair Payne, if I could, just
Andy? Mhm.
to clarify, the reason this is different than the last several items on the agenda is this is not an elected board. Elected board. This is a board or a committee that is appointed by the commission. They're volunteers that are serving to care for this cemetery district and the Lincoln Cemetery, and they are appointed by the commission. I believe that's correct. So that's the difference between an elected position versus an appointed volunteer board. So thanks, Chair. I just wanted to explain that. People might be confused about why we're doing this differently than the last several items on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'd just like to comment, as part of our duties as a commission, we go to Lincoln the first Friday of every month. And during one of those trips to Lincoln, the commissioners took a side trip to look at the Lincoln Cemetery. And it's not down where we think of as Lincoln. It's clear up on the mountain where the original Lincoln town site was located. It's in the middle of the National Forest, and we have to have a special dispensation to work on the road up there because it's Forest Service. But anyway, this just seems like an interesting part of our community interaction that a lot of people step up and take care of this stuff. Let's see. Do you have any questions, Andy?
I do not.
Okay. Is there any public comment on this matter? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please?
Chair Payne, I'd move that we appoint Tony Eckert and Sandra Winters to a partial term to expire January 1st, 2027 on the Lincoln Cemetery District.
Second. It is, let's see. Is there any further comment from the commission? No. Okay. Seeing none, let's see, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the appointment of Tony Eckert and Sandra Winters for a partial term on the Lincoln Cemetery Board that will expire January 1st, 2020. All in favor say aye.
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 Commissioner, the date was 2027, not 2020. But I just wanted to make that for the
I
record.
think that's probably, let me rephrase.
No, you're good, but
Okay, we'd like to be considered for partial term on the board that will expire January 1st, 2027. I stand corrected. Thank you, Andy. All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously, and congratulations to Tony and Sandra. Okay, now the fun part. See all these people out here, they told me they're here for public comment. We have come to the point in our agenda where we ask the public to comment on any public matter within the jurisdiction of the commission that is not on the agenda above. Let's do it. Is the microphone turned on? Is it yellow? Is there a green light? It should be green.
Okay,
Otherwise,
there we
we
go. Okay.
can't hear you. So state
My
your
name
name
is
again.
Tom Rigg, and I live at 1227 Ropers Road, which is in Bridge Creek Estates, north of Bob's and east of Montana Avenue. From my porch, I can see the blight that 7710 North Montana Avenue has become. So I come here today to ask you, on behalf of myself and all residents who are affected by this blight, to take action related to this property. At the end of my comments, I will present you with a petition signed by 77 residents of Lewis and Clark County. I know that you are aware of the situation and have discussed it with many people over the past several years. Within the last 6 months, fire department and law enforcement personnel have been at the property. At the present time, the property is being used as a campground for many camping units, motorhomes, and RVs. This is not a licensed campground, and the property has no sewer, water, or garbage facilities for these camping units. The environmental program supervisor for Lewis and Clark County has open cases regarding community decay and septic illegal disposal at the property. It is now a health hazard, unsafe, and an unsightly blight on the neighborhood. Based on discussions I've had with county personnel, it appears that the core to resolving these problems is ownership of the property. That means the beginning of the solution starts with solving the ownership issue. With regard to the property ownership, here is some history. Rose Wiseman purchased the property from Jerry Jakovac in 2009 with a contract for deed. On 10/4/2014, Rose Wiseman passed away. On 1/21/2015, Karina Wiseman, Rose's daughter, was appointed as personal representative of Rose's estate. On 9/23/21, 6.5 years later, by order of Judge Mike Minahan, the estate was closed. As of this time, no action had been taken by Karina Wiseman to report to the court or distribute the property from the estate. The result is the current situation, which is that the property is owned by a person who has been dead for over 10 years, leaving no owner who can be held responsible for health and safety violations at the property. This brings me to the purpose of the petition. We who signed this petition are asking you to ask Judge Minahan to reopen the estate of Rose Wiseman and to see that the property is properly distributed from the estate and that the health and community decay issues are resolved. You may need to petition the court to remove Karina Wiseman as personal representative of the Rose Wiseman estate. Ideally, Judge Minahan will order the estate to be administered by the Lewis and Clark County Public Administrator. I doubt there is anything in this petition that you are not aware of, and I'm sure that you know more than I do. However, you may find some or all of these exhibits useful when you petition Judge Minahan. I will also leave this poster with you to use as you will to demonstrate the situation. I have talked to many people during my canvassing for petition signatures. Most don't really care how the situation is resolved. They just want the squatters gone and the property cleaned up. I sympathize with county personnel who have no owner to deal with. I'm hoping that this request regarding the estate of Rose Wiseman is the starting point for resolution of the situation. I'd appreciate knowing what your processes will be regarding this request so that those of us who signed this petition and other interested residents can follow the progress you are making to resolve these health and safety issues. Thank you for your time and effort in this matter.
Thank you for your presentation.
And I really would appreciate it if you could give me a hint on how this is going to transpire. Oh, wait a minute.
Oop. Thank you. Oh, good. Based on the rules and the bossiness of our county attorney's office, I am limited as to what I can say during this part of our hearing. This is strictly for public comment. And
Okay.
that means I cannot give you,
Okay, so,
I live out there.
just let me ask one question.
Okay. I don't know if I can answer it.
Will you take this up at like your next meeting?
I will take it up at a meeting with our county attorney and say, what in the hell are we going to do about this mess?
Okay.
You know, I live out there. I drive by
Yeah.
this every day, and
Okay,
it's
anyway,
just something.
I'll be
It's
watching.
also involving, it is private property.
Yeah,
And
well, sort of. It's like nobody's property right now.
it's not government property.
Yeah,
Okay, therefore it is private property, and we have to treat it with the respect
right. Okay, well, I'm hoping that this offers you an avenue
that would
to
be.
solve the
I
problem.
appreciate your efforts on our behalf.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'll be watching your agenda to when you will discuss it at a meeting.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Come forward.
Well, thank you for
Oh.
taking the time.
Talk in the,
Okay.
and state your name.
My name is Leonard Cloniger. I live at 1210 Ropers Road, which is immediately east of the encampment. And what I would like to say is, from living there since 1997, my wife and I and the family have watched a whole scenario of events take place over the years. And at this point right now, I don't think I've ever seen it deteriorate to the point that it's at right now. I won't go into all the details of things that I have seen, but just to highlight a couple of things that are alarming for me, our family, and the neighbors that are around the area. One of the things is strange smells and smoke that comes from that area. I've been in construction for 45 years, and I get smells onto my property directly from that area because we get west winds that drift over to our area. We get smells that I have never smelt in 45 years of working in construction. I think I know what they are, but I'm not going to elaborate too much because I don't have positive information. There's also hoses. That property is bordering the canal. It's, if I'm not mistaken, that property probably has an easement where the irrigation district goes through it, because that's the way my property is set up. They have hoses going from their property into the canal. We periodically have walked down the canal as a place to walk along with the walking path to walk our dogs and to get exercise. And we would periodically walk down the canal. And we are watching people drawing water out of the canal and various trips of whatever they're doing from their property to the canal. Just saying, don't know what it is, but there's definitely a health hazard going on. And that's just some of my input. So
Thank you, Leonard.
you're welcome.
We appreciate you making the effort to come up and talk to us about this. Are there any other public comments on any matter within the jurisdiction of the commission that is not on the agenda above? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned.